Hi ladies, I am sorry that this video is a little bit late, but I wanted to go over the whole manifesting thing with you. I didn't realize exactly how long this may possibly be until I started to kind of read through my books again. And if you're anything like me, you've got like 10 million books filled with like stuff you downloaded. So I had to kind of go through and put them all together, only because at the moment I'm still trying to like condense it all into one beautiful or multiple beautiful books. And if anybody wants to read them at some point, feel free, but it's all channeled information and downloads about any and everything for years and years and years. But okay, to the point, sorry. Manifestation, and this is long, really long, so I'm pretty much just going to kind of read through this book of stuff that I've downloaded on it, because all of this is about manifestation. So if anybody wants, I can put it into kind of a PDF form for you if you need. But it's pretty simple. And manifestation is an accumulation of about 5 steps. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So just so you know, the universe wants to give you everything that you want. We just don't always know how to ask for it correctly. English is technically a slave language, and it was designed to stop us from spelling correctly, literally, which is why we have so many words that mean the same thing but or spelled the same way but mean completely different things. Like, it's the hardest language to learn because it's the most confusing, because it doesn't make sense. So if you can remember that, then everything else kind of falls into play and goes pretty easy. So in order to manifest correctly, 1, you need to come from a higher elevation, so that's being positive. 2, you need to destroy mental blocks, because we are our worst enemies. We have cursed ourselves more than anybody else in this whole planet could do for us. So we have to destroy our mental blocks. We need to learn to ask correctly. That means speak correctly. We were physically taught to speak wrong. Again, we're the only language that inverts how we speak. So in Spanish, it's instead of White House, it would be Casablanca, things like that. So we are literally doing everything backwards, and it's for a reason. We were also taught to speak in negatives instead of positives, and that also makes manifesting harder. So after learning to ask correctly, you then need to do 2 things. So it's mind, heart, and body. Those 3 things connected help us manifest. So being positive, destroying mental blocks is the mental part. Asking correctly and asking correctly is the physical part, the heart part, the visualization part, and then the taking action is the body part. So that's the last thing. So be positive, destroy your mental blocks, ask correctly, visualize it, and then take action. When I say be positive, it doesn't mean be weird. You don't have to always be in a good mood or fake about it. Sometimes we have to fake it to make it at first, just so we get into the routines, but that's completely okay. But it doesn't mean you're not allowed to have a bad day or get angry and react to something that was done to you. It's just whether or not you're going to let it destroy you and whether or not you're going to harp on it. So the faster that you can release those types of things and get back to center and back to your positivity, the faster your vibration recovers, your aura recovers, and you go back into manifesting phase, because technically we manifest all day, every day, no matter what. All right, so destroying mental blocks. Okay. All right. It's okay to have a crappy day. Oh, one thing that was told to me was that sometimes things happen that don't make us happy. And this doesn't mean that you're being negative because you react to it. It also doesn't mean that you should be angry about it either, because there's one important thing that I have learned, and that is that if you work in the highest good of all, then that is what you're going to get always. So if you come from a place of a lack of selfishness in it, you're going to get what you need way faster. And that sometimes includes the highest good of all means all, not just you, not everybody but you. It means all. So sometimes things won't happen for you the way you anticipated. But if you can look at it and go, well, you know what? It wasn't the highest good for me, but it was the highest good for somebody else, and that I'm okay with. The universe goes, bravo, bitch. Here, take some more. So remember that working in the highest good of all tends to be the number one thing for me. All right. We are going to go into destroying your mental blocks. Oh, wait, we're skipping stage 1, which is being positive. So in being positive, yes, you may have to fake it till you make it a little bit. But what you are doing is you are retraining your mind to think positively first. So a lot of times our first initial reaction to things is negative, or judgmental, or even shameful towards ourselves and other people. And so we need to remember to immediately go to a place of positivity. And that happens by, one, letting things happen the way they happen, and then going, wait, I wasn't supposed to do that. Just got in a car accident. And instead of being like, fucking, excuse my language, ladies, because I do curse, fucking idiot hit my car. Now I got all this bad shit that's about to happen to me. Look at it and go, oh my God, I'm safe. The person driving was safe. Nobody's dead. This sucks, but we can deal with it. Like, change it around. If your first go-to is those negative emotions, that's fine. Just immediately realize it and turn it around. You're going to hear some noises in the background, and that's okay, because that's my beautiful family working away, doing all our business stuff while I sit here with you ladies. So thanks to them for covering my butt today. Go to a place of positivity in everything. The universe is very forgiving. So if you don't let a negativity take over completely, and what I mean by that is you have said it in a negative manner and let it go to the universe. If you said it in a negative manner, realize you did it, change it around, re-say, rethink, or redo whatever it was, then let it go to the universe, then that's what the universe is going to remember. The part that you let go. So when they say for you to manifest, you got to just, do your intentions and then let it go and don't harp on it. That's what that means, because it's not until you stop thinking about it that the universe goes, oh, she's done. Now let me work on it. It's like having a conversation with somebody. You don't start talking until you know that they're done, right? So the universe is the same way. It's letting you talk and talk and talk until it has been satisfied that you're done and you've said what you wanted. Now it can work on it, which is why continuing to obsess or go back to something makes manifestation harder, because the universe is like, this girl's never done. Like, it's just constant. Like, I don't know what she wants. It's something different every 2 seconds. So that's where coming and speaking clearly will come into play later. So just remember that letting it go to the universe is very important, and make sure that the thing you're letting go to the universe is in a positive manner. Destroying mental blocks is where being in a positive mindset starts to come into play. In order to manifest correctly, you cannot be your own worst enemy. And we are. We have instilled limiting mindsets that are put onto us from birth. We are told you have to work hard. You have to put in your blood, sweat, and tears to get anything. If you want anything in life, if you want to be successful, you got to break your back. Like, we tell each other, like, we literally curse ourselves daily with mindsets that have been instilled into us. You want to definitely break any of those mindsets, because the truth is that life is easy. It's figuring out life that's kind of harder. But once you trust that you've got this and that you were put here for this exact reason and to show that you can manifest easily, all that goes away. I mean, I'm a prime example of that. I was supposed to be a doctor. I worked as a nurse first. I became a procurer harvesting tissue for transplant. I went back pre-med to be a doctor and became a photographer. And nobody makes 6 figures plus a year being a photographer. I do. And I have for 12 years. And that's because I know that I don't have to worry or care. I have literally like assigned a palm. This is my money in palm. This is my money out palm. And when they itch, I'm like, thank you. Yes, out. Yes, I'm grateful. Go out. Money's coming in. As long as you're grateful for the flow, which means in and out, then it never stops. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And before you know it, you have so much abundance, you don't even know what to do with it. And it was all from just being in a place of knowing everything's okay, being grateful for the out as much as you're grateful for the in. So get rid of those negative mental blocks. And if you need help with that, I can help. There are so many sisters in the group that can help with that. Let me just check my notes and make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Don't sabotage ourselves. We curse ourselves. Let me give you an example. So we can ask for a great new job, but if you don't feel you deserve it, it's not going to happen. You have got to know your worth. That is one of our biggest mental blocks that we have to overcome, is knowing our self-worth. We say we want these things, but we don't truly believe we deserve them because we have been taught from day one that we don't. And so you have got to retrain yourself. You have got to get those negative people who say these very limiting things to you completely out of the way. It sucks because these are people you love a lot, and redoing your whole lifespan is really hard, but man, it's so worth it in the end. All right. Asking correctly, my favorite part. Oh my God. Okay, so the last year I have been being coached by all my guides on speaking correctly. And this is so important. And I have not truly downloaded why this is so important, but I am getting everything from speaking our entities' names correctly. Like ISIS is not ISIS, it is Isis. And if you ask anybody from the Middle East and in that region how they say Iran, they say Iran. And that is because the I is pronounced as an E. Her name is Isis. And Hathor, TH being th, is an American thing, and that was changed on purpose. Her name is not Hathor, it's Hathor. I can go on and on all the corrections on how we speak, but this is the number one thing, asking correctly. So we generally focus on what we want to change and end up with more of what we don't want. This was directly said to me and quoted to me in a download. And it was shown to me an example. I want less debt. But your focus is for the debt. The universe does not decipher the want or the less, only the outcome. And what that means is all we're saying constantly to the universe is debt, 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 debt. So therefore we are going to get debt, 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 debt. And this is a really great example, but let's just go back. And I am not political. I don't vote. I don't even give a shit. That's not my thing. That's not my energy. That's not my focal point. But look back on the very first Trump, election. I think that's what it's called, an election. So everybody on the Trump side said Trump's name, praising, right? Praising Trump. Everybody on the other side said Trump's name, diminishing Trump. The only thing we know is that the universe heard Trump on both sides. Nothing but. The entire focus, didn't matter if it was negative or positive, was one thing, and it was Trump, and that is what we got. That is how the universe works. And if that couldn't be a more clear example, I can give you many more. But the truth is that the supporting words are not the issue. The only thing you have to worry about is the actual outcome. So if you are steadily saying debt, then that is all you're going to get. That is the focus word that the universe knows. The universe knows very specific keywords, very specific. It doesn't hear the word less or want as anything other than just white noise, because the supporting word comes from the visualization and the heart part. So you have to feel the supporting word, and that'll make sense in a little bit. So if you are saying, I want less debt, I want less debt, I want less debt, the universe is hearing debt and it's going to give it to you. The universe does not understand truly the word money. It understands abundance. But the thing is that you have to be willing to accept all abundance. So the correct way to manifest more abundance is to use your I am. First of all, we choose to curse ourselves with our I am statement. It's one of the strongest statements we have physically to spell for ourselves. When I say spell, I mean casting spells. That's what spelling is. We learn to spell wrong in our society. But our I am statement is the strongest thing that we've got. And we literally curse ourselves. When you're an alcoholic, what do? You use your I am statement at a meeting in front of hundreds of other people, and you say, I am an alcoholic. Therefore, you are. These things are done completely wrong. They should not be in a meeting of recovery and positive growth saying a negative I am statement, if that makes any sense. So the correct thing that they should be saying is, I am recovered. I am healthy. I am whole again. That's what their I am statement should be. So you want to say, I am, because that is you. I am abundant. You may not believe it at first, but that's where getting rid of those negative mindsets and being positive come into play for number 3. I am positive. And you're going to say it over and over again. And your mind is literally going to physically create new neuron pathways that are positive, that are what you speak. I am abundant. Don't specify how you're abundant. Abundance comes everywhere. And when you see all the dominoes line up, abundance is everything. So you can't be financially abundant if you're not financially abundant in love, financially abundant in support, financially abundant in anything, all the things. Like, there's all the things that you have to have. So being abundant means you're going to get a stronger support group around you. You're going to shed the negative parts that you don't really need and bring in the new stuff. I am healthy. I mean, that's it. That's all you have to say. I wake up every morning and I say, I am abundant, I am love, and I am healthy. And those are the 3 things I ever manifest. Ever. And when you wake up in the morning and you say your I am statement, it is the manifestation for the day. It sets the tone for your entire day. And I make sure that in that, or in portal, like when my husband and I practice sex magic, let's just call it what it is. My daughter's cringing in the corner going, but when we practice, we create portals. And even in those portals, the only thing I ever manifest is love, because love brings everything, just like abundance does. You don't even have to say your I am statement is abundant. You can say I am love, and the universe is going to give you nothing but. And there is no, lack in love. So remember to ask correctly. Do not focus on your negative words. There is a huge list of negative words. The number 1 being want. Do not say want. I want. That means a lack of. It means you are acknowledging a lack of instead of seeing that you already have or already are. So many notes. I'm so sorry. Okay. So when we are asking wrong, this is a really good one. So remember how I told you the universe listens. When we are asking wrong, this is what the universe hears. Do, 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 do. So what does that remind you of? It's like Bart Simpson, right? Do. And instead, if you're asking correctly, the universe hears do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And it understands that. So we are speaking in broken frequencies that the universe doesn't really understand. And it's going, I don't know what to give her, but she said do. So look, I'm going to throw some batter at her. And, ooh, she said do. So here's a deer. And instead of hearing the beautiful song of what you want. So don't forget, how you speak is everything. No more negative words, no wants, no desire. Desire is still a word for lack. Just go with your I am statements. Keep it simple and know exactly what you want before you do it. I at first used to write it down because I was like, oh, I don't want to work in the medical field no more. I want to work for myself and be financially independent and be able to pay for anything my kids want and buy a big beautiful house and all these things. And the universe was like, this is just mashed potatoes to me. Asking correctly puts it all together. So at that point, once I realized what were my positive words and what were my negative words and incorporated it into an I am statement, everything changed. So from that point, I was still doing it wrong, but I was like, I am financially free. Well, again, the universe doesn't really understand money. Money's not a real concept to the universe. It is, but it isn't. It falls under abundance. And so it worked a little bit, but just not really as much as I needed it to. And then it wasn't until I realized to say, I am abundant, that everything changed. And it wasn't until I truly believed it that everything went even further. And then I truly believed that I deserved it. And then everything went even further. And before I knew it, my husband and I both quit our jobs. And for the last 10 years, we have run companies that have made over $200,000 a year doing something that you should not be able to do in our field. Like, this is a hobby. Let's face it. Photography is a hobby. There's very few people who can truly maneuver hobbies abundantly. And I wish I could say that it was me that did it, but it's not. It was just my learning. Okay, I guess he doesn't want to be with me. My learning how to speak to the universe that did it. So next is the take action part. So in order to truly manifest, one, mindset, positive, ready to go, know what you're manifesting, do it in a positive way, break your barriers. Two, physically speak it. Speak the vibration into existence. Speaking it out loud is the hardest part for me because I don't like to show weakness. And I feel like sometimes words show weakness. And so that was the hardest part for me, was to literally say it out loud. I would only say it in my head. But it wasn't until I sat in a bathroom one day by myself with the vent on so that nobody could hear me that I was like, I am abundant. And I whispered it. And then every day that whisper got stronger. So visualize, speak it clearly, and then take action. The action part is visualizing and or physical doing. Sometimes it's both. So know what you want, speak it correctly, and then visualize it. We're told one of the next biggest mental blocks that are instilled on us from birth is stop daydreaming. Get your head out of the clouds. Get it together. Snap into the real world. Like, that is the most limiting belief because it is stopping the heart chakra from doing what it is meant to do in the manifestation process, which is the action part. It's a threefold process. Everything in life is a threefold process. It starts in one area and maneuvers down into others. and then you are manifesting. So without all three, you're not doing it correctly. So physically go in and visualize what you want. If you are abundant, because that is your I am statement, I am abundant, go in and see abundance. See yourself walking into your brand new office and feel the love and the joy of walking in there and taking a deep breath and going, oh, I did this. This is mine. It's all everything I ever wanted. Visualize everything. See yourself sitting down at your desk and starting your work for the day and happily taking all your phone calls and all of it. Imagine going to your desk at the end of the week to pay your payroll for your employees and opening up your bank account and seeing all the zeros and being like, what? I'm also going to buy some shoes too. All of it. Visualize all of it. Daydreaming is not something that makes you disconnected from the universe as we were taught. It is what connects you to the universe. We have this amazing ability for a reason. So visualize it. Now, sometimes things like that also include an action. Go buy your website. Go buy your website. Go buy your website and start building it and make your company and take all the steps and take the next step, which is scary, and voice your truth to the whole world. Go on Facebook and start promoting yourself. Do all the stuff. Who cares? Take the action, whether it be visually or physically, that you need, because that is the third part of proper manifestation. Get your mind right, speak your truth, take action. Those three things are manifesting in its entirety. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm sorry about almost 30-minute video, but if you have any questions about this or want clarification on how to incorporate any of this better into your lives, let me know. I know that there are people out there who teach manifestation. I don't mean to step on their toes. I get that this may be a financial source for them, but I'm also here for the advancement of our entire consciousness. And so for me, my abundance comes from somewhere else. So I guess if I can be the free coach, then I'm more than happy to be, because I had that gift given to me a million times over. A million coaches, people who physically charged for things, met me and were like, you need to work in this. And they taught me everything, and I never paid for it. And so I feel like the best thing I could do is to help other light workers come into their own. And the best way to be the strongest light worker you can be is to learn to manifest correctly, because that takes you into everything else. So if you have any questions, let me know. I love all you ladies. And I know that there are other ladies out there who will be more than happy to share their experiences with manifesting properly. Do not take anything one person says as word, because the truth is there is a collective knowledge out there, and we all get it in different ways, as we are all a different perspective of source. And so what works good for one person may not work as good for another, but there are basic fundamentals, and that's what I went over in this video. Refinement techniques, other people should be able to help give more of them so that you can find what works for you, because let's face it, there is no right and wrong way in this. There is only learning and moving forward, and as long as you are doing that, you are doing it right. So thanks, sisters.